it's it's hard for me to emphasize how serious this is, how much of an escalation this is. And you're not going to be hearing about this incident on the mainstream press, but you have what we have. Let's go over the facts again. You have a space of public property that is owned by the city of Atlanta that's been now occupied on and off around the clock for months by violent extremists who have already shown their ability to be extremely violent. For example, last year in May, during one of the raids where there were a number of arrests, they used firebombs on police. So they already have this attention and the ability to try to set their targets on fire. Um, they've assaulted officers with projectiles. They organize quite openly online. They have a number of these propaganda accounts that push out um, their material, and their material will include like the pictures and also these posts about essentially calling for um, uh, putting a call out for other militants from around the country to heed the call and to join the autonomous zone. When I'm describing all this, it sounds actually very similar to Islamic State, doesn't it? And the Caliphate. Do you remember that? When they Let's go back to 2013, 14, 15, they used Twitter at that time to call for Muslims all around the world to make a religious pilgrimage to the new caliphate that was established in territory that is in Syria and Iraq. And lots of Muslims did do that, and they went and they became jihadist fighters. They became brides of jihadists. They were terrorists who killed people, who helped abduct people, and the space that was meant to be a utopia for Muslims was horrific, and all sorts of human rights atrocities were committed. I mean, we're talking about mass killings, mass killings done on camera that was disseminated, really brutal, horrific murders, setting people on fire and recording them being burnt to death, putting them into cages and lowering them into water until they drown, and then pulling up the bodies so you could see what they look like. Um, and they recorded all these things because in their ideology, they were proud of their actions. You have to think of these extremists who go to these lanes, political ideologies, religious political ideologies, as they operate psychologically similarly. So that's the analogy that I'm drawing here with these autonomous zones and these putting out these communiques, they call them, which is just basically another term for a communication, calling for more bodies to come. This is it is very sort of the politics is so radical that it is religious like.